Let's bring back a good friend of this program, Middle Eastern expert Dr. Walid Phares, who joins us by phone. Walid, Islamophobia, is that really a root cause of this?
JD, let me try this. Yes, Islamophobia could be a reason, but guess what? The Muslim Brotherhood are producing Islamophobia. The Iranian lobby, the Salafists are producing the Islamophobia as an argument for not dismantling the network of the jihadists. This is a shield that the Islamist lobby is using. Every time there's an investigation into jihadist activities, every time there's an attempt to understand the ideology, what is the shield? What is the argument? Oh, you can't do that. That would become Islamophobia. We all have been accused of Islamophobia. If we criticize, it has nothing to do with Islam in the community. If we criticize the ideology which is behind them, and it is very sad and frustrating to see that many apologists in the West, including in the United States, are espousing this argument instead of educating the public about reality, that there are ideological roots to this problem.
And this whole notion of the adherents of Islam being victims, it's kind of interesting. Walid, yesterday, the Islamic activist Anhem Chandri was on Newsmax TV with our own Steve Malzberg, and there was a very interesting exchange here. Prior to going on the air, Chaudhry had what he thought was a very important question for Mr. Malzberg. Let's go back to that scene as it unfolded yesterday here on Newsmax TV.
I just want to make clear, I mean, you asked before we went on air, you said my name sounded Jewish, and I told you it was. I mean, is that problematic for you in any way?
No, it just makes me understand the reality of the people that I'm dealing with.
Now, Chaudhry followed that with saying that he would, quote, invite Steve to Islam. Your take on Chaudhry and others like him, are they radicals who, in fact, are preaching the doctrine of acts of terror against Western democracies such as France and Great Britain, where Chaudhry resides? My
friend, this is probably the easiest answer. Mr. Chaudhry, and he's not shy about it, is not just a Islamist, a radical Islamist. He is a jihadist. He is not shy about it. If you go back to many statements he made, to many speeches he made, he actually espouses the absolute same goals of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, of Al-Qaeda, of Boko Haram, which, by the way, within the past 48 hours has killed 1,000 Africans, most of whom were Muslims. So Mr. Chaudhry is playing the game of propaganda. In fact, he's just a jihadist propagandist. That's very simple. Doesn't need even research.
A minute remains in this segment, Walid. I'm interested in your assessment. Far from being Islamophobia, there's been criticism of the French for being too lenient toward those who would perpetrate terror, with shortened prison sentences and, well, we see any number of these people they knew about at large. Your take on the French posture in terms of fighting Islamofascism?
I have been speaking with French lawmakers, decision makers, even the top experts, some of whom have expressed their opinion on TV over the past 3 days or 2 days. Look, French police, law enforcement, counter-terrorism are very good agencies that work hard. Their problem is not their own activity. It's the political establishment in France, and more specifically the intelligentsia, the intellectual elite. They don't want to admit that France has a jihadi problem. It's not an Islamophobia problem. France has a jihadi problem. And as long as you do not address it, identify it, you're going to fall into the problems. And now the French public is realizing how deep is that problem. It's not anymore violence. It's military activities by jihadi units, as we saw yesterday, and we may see even more of that.
Fair enough. Walid, I'll have to hold you right there. We'll have more with Walid Phares following this on America's Forum.